Hi, everybody. Sean McCracken, news editor for Hotel News Now, here with CoStar's Emmy Hise. And Emmy, this is the second year we're going to do this exercise of the news cycle slows down a little bit the week before Thanksgiving, so we can all take a moment, take our breath, and just take stock of the things we are thankful for as people and for the hotel industry at large. How you doing, Emmy?
I'm doing great. I'm thankful you're asking me back to more podcasts with you, Sean.
Well,
And,
I'm thankful you said yes.
I love being part of the non-breaking news podcast, the happy podcast,
Yeah.
thankful podcast.
Makes it a little easier. So, Emmy, let's kick it off. What's the thing that you are most thankful for this year?
Thing I'm most thankful for. I feel like there's a lot of categories, but let's just start. I'm going to start industry because we're on Hotel News Now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm thankful for all of the events and cool events that happened this year in the hospitality space, seeing so many people catching up, talking about things, whether things that they're excited about, stressed about, but just hearing so many perspectives and then aligning our data with it. But I think the bigger part of that, more than just like my personal feeling about it, is people are meeting for groups. They're getting together. People continue to get together for business group travel. And I'm thankful for that because I think it's so important.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thing to be thankful for. It's a good thing. I mean, we learned a few years ago how big of a deal it is when all that stuff goes away, right? And you're all stuck at home and you don't see the people in our industry or who you work with or you regularly interact with it. If it goes away, it's noticeable.
Yeah. And maybe because it's like back-to-back years now, you're like, oh, hey again.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it just is more, just feels good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The first thing on my list that I wanted to say the industry at large should be thankful for, and
Yep.
this is maybe come off as a little dry, but I think everybody should be thankful for at least the trajectory of interest rates. We talked so
Yes.
long about how painful higher than normal interest rates have been, and we're finally on the downward slope. I mean, only 50 basis points off the high, and at least in the US, obviously,
Mhm.
there's more movement in different locales across the globe, but we're moving in what business folks would generally regard as the right direction.
I agree with that. It's in the right direction. I think people are still waiting to be active because they're like, well, it's going to keep going. So I'm going to wait. But I think that's definitely helping. And I think that obviously cash flow has kind of been an issue this year, but with inflation getting better as well, these are all very positive signs for hotel valuations
Mm-hmm.
as long as it holds.
And obviously, who knows where inflation goes? I mean, we saw a marginal tick up in the last
Mhm.
numbers, and then any numbers of economists have weighed in on what the incoming presidential administration's policies what effect they will have on inflation. But
Yeah.
at least for now, interest rates we can feel good about.
Can I throw one more thing in that I'm thankful for?
Hopefully, more
It's
than one
just,
thing. We just
well,
started.
no, it's a lot more. That the election is over,
Yes, that was
regardless
on
of
my list.
opinion of the
Yes.
election. Oh my gosh, I got like 6 text messages a day, so many emails. I'm like, and for some reason they had me listed as they have my name and then somehow they think I'm Libby as well. So I got double whammy of texts. So I'm just glad that that's over.
So right here on my list, third on my list, it says election season is over. So I think we're in complete lockstep that, regardless of how you feel about the outcome one way or the other, we can all be joyous. Fewer election ads on the television, fewer random automated text messages. I get the same thing. I get a lot of political texts addressed to my wife for some reason. So whenever I see like her name pop up, and it's like, oh, okay, it's just somebody trying to get me to vote for something or the other.
It's so funny. So yes, less spam all around.
But
So,
from a business perspective too, like the thankfulness of like the last few months, whenever we talked about anything, it's you had to consider two potential trajectories,
mhm.
two potential approaches to the economy, two potential regulatory environments. Like now we have one potential future to contend with.
Well, that, and I've heard from like a lot of hotels that like their booking pace just like slowed after
Hmm.
August, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, we're waiting till after the election. We're waiting till after the election. So that might be like another good thing for the industry. It's like, okay, now we know what's what, and let's move forward with this information.
Yeah,
And
and there was a lot of talk too within the industry of what the weeks immediately following the election would look like, and whether there was some going to be some serious upheaval that would disrupt DC and maybe other like urban cores. And we haven't seen any of that, which I
no,
guess is something we should be thankful for. I mean, there was the slowdown. Nobody expected to do anything. Nobody planned any business trips for that week. But now it's kind of just back to normal, right? Like I took a business trip earlier this week. Everything was fine and normal and nothing out of the ordinary.
totally. I feel like half my on the hotel side, like half the team is gone doing presentations at different events, like that were
Yeah.
all this morning, and or all their presentations were this morning, I
Yeah.
should say. But
But
so yeah,
there was this expectation at one point that maybe November as a whole would just be lost because
and
things would be utter complete chaos. And yeah, we have not seen that.
yes, the world is not over.
So it's the second thing on my list. We stole the third thing on my list. The second thing on my list dovetails with this, though, what we were literally just saying. And I think we can be thankful for kind of an improving business travel environment. We heard a lot about that during the recent earnings season, and there's every reason to believe going into next year where it's going to be even closer to what you would consider normal than what we've seen even this year, which was an improvement over the prior year.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of getting those. I'd say like group and business transient can sometimes be like those staple base business for
Yeah.
hotels that hotels just need it. And to have that stability and base back, I think is really positive. So
You I remember during the depths of not the depths, the height of kind of the leisure bounce back when everything was so feverish and like coming back stronger than anybody expected. I remember there was a conversation within the industry about, well, do we even want business travel back? Do we want that corporate negotiated
mhm.
travel? Because leisure is so profitable right now. Like, do we want to like trade down to this lower rated business? I think we've all learned that it's kind of nice to have that on your books so that you can have a baseline.
Oh, absolutely. I remember, I think I met a year or two ago. I remember Jan at a presentation was like, don't forget your groups. Like,
Yeah.
you will regret it if you, and I've talked to other like hoteliers that are like, oh my gosh, like we put our business strategy in leisure and now we're like scrambling to get those groups back that were base for a while. So you really need all the segments. And I think like the leisure traveler, like yeah, they spend a lot of money, but they can be fickle. Like that's
Yeah.
actually one thing on here that I'm thankful for is that I put people still love to travel. And I don't think
Hmm.
that's going to change. I think it's going to continue. I think the kind of to weave it into what we were just saying though, is we are seeing that they are being more price sensitive. They are
Yeah.
looking at different things. They are like, no, that's too expensive. Or like, it's cheaper for me to go on a cruise. It's cheaper for me to
Yeah.
go here. And they're willing to adjust now. And so I think
Yeah.
that kind of highlights that things can change in
Yeah.
that segment.
Well, and I mean, obviously, we keep an eye on the TSA data, and that hasn't tracked down at all. And so, I mean, it's not the leisure softness we always talk about is not fewer people traveling. It's them going to different places for the most part.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And if you look at some of the like really leisure markets, you're like, oh man, like ADR is down and this is really tough. And it is tough. But if you like zoom out like 3 years, I was just, I think, working on the Santa Monica submarket, like looking at it. And it's like, dang, the ADR is down, I don't know, 7%. I'm making that up. Don't fact check that, but it's
Hmm.
down a decent amount. But then when you look at the previous 2 years, you're like, oh my gosh, it had two consecutive years of 20% ADR growth, first year being recovery, second year just like skyrocketing even more, even though it was at a new peak. So like if you look at the long trajectory, overall, it really did boost rates.
Yeah, for sure. Ironically, right before I came in to record this, I was told that my boss and one of my STR colleagues are planning to go to Santa Monica during Alice this year.
What?
hmm Apparently, this person I was talking to had never gone to Santa Monica before, so they're going to do the whole pier, walk the beaches experience, which is a fun first time thing.
Oh, great. They can give local knowledge on our CoStar market reports on the ground.
Have you done the Santa Monica pier thing, Emmy?
I have not. I feel like I've gone to a lot of different parts of LA. Santa Monica, I have not experienced yet.
Are you a fan of the movie Big, starring Tom Hanks?
I have not seen it. Why do you
You've never
always
seen
shame
Big?
my pop culture, Sean? You always have one thing that
But no,
I know of the movie. I knew that it was Tom Hanks.
we're around the same age, Emmy, so I can give you a hard time about these things, but you've never seen Big.
I think you're more cultured than I am. This is basically my takeaway.
The point I'm making is that if you walk on the pier, they have a Zoltar machine. And to put that into context, the premise of Big is that a child makes a wish on this machine, says he wishes he was like an adult, basically, and he turns into Tom Hanks. Now, hilarity and some creepy moments ensue following that, but like the actual machine, the like fortune telling machine is there. You can do it. It's cool.
Right.
I mean, it's the most touristy thing. Like the whole pier is like it's like you go to a carnival, and it's very cheesy, but it's a cheesy in a true Americana type of way.
All right, I will watch Big, and I will go to Santa Monica. Those will be 2025 goals.
It's a fun movie if you ignore certain parts of it.
Isn't that like so many movies now, though, where you're like,
yes.
I don't know if that would get mid today.
Especially, movies made in 1988. But yeah, I mean, it's the same concept as 13 Going on 30, which I assume that you've seen.
That one I've seen. See, why don't you start there?
Well, they don't have a Zoltar machine in 13 Going on 30, so that was the whole point. Anyway, so the next thing I want to say we should be thankful for, and it's very similar to something you've already seen or you've already said, but I just want to say we should be thankful for the great people who are in this industry. I bring this up because just a week or so ago, I did a pair of podcast interviews about the kind of recent wave of hotel management company M&A. And both of those interviews, it was mentioned to me how big of a deal the quality of the people at the company being bought was to getting the deal done. So I think we should continue to be thankful to the smart, capable people who keep the world turning in terms of the hotel industry.
I 100% agree with that. You know this. I love the people in our industry. So,
who's your favorite, Emmy? Who's your favorite person in the hotel industry?
Sean McCracken, of course.
Well, I'm tangential to the industry at best.
I'm not going to answer that. I have too many favorites. I'm going to be a politician on this. Who's my favorite child?
Yeah, it's the same question. That's what I was going to say. It's the same question of who your favorite. And I wouldn't ask you that. As a parent, I'm smart enough to not ask you that. All right, what else is on your list?
So some people might not think of this as something to be thankful for, but I'm going to say it anyways, is, we've kind of had this steady trajectory of hotel performance, and that's what is forecast through 2025. And I think some people might be like, oh my gosh, this might not be a good thing, but it might be a thing to be thankful for. If it's the same or similar, we know what to expect, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, maybe to just kind of have more consistency with it. It's not as shocking. We thought at first it was going to be bigger growth this year, and it ended up not being. But the fact that it's projected for another year, it's like, okay, we know how to manage this. We know what to do. We just did it. Mm-hmm. And in a weird way, I think that's something to be thankful for. I know people are like, I want more boosts. I want higher revenue, lower expenses. I get all that. I'm not discounting that, but at least we can say, you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You have the roadmap.
The funny thing is, I think that was on our list last year like the predictability and stability, which is, I think only reinforces the point, right? Like it's something we should be thankful for every year, that a giant hole doesn't open up in the earth and swallow us up.
Very true. I know it's actually funny when we're doing this podcast, I was like, I wonder if a lot of these things I was thankful for last year, it's like still this year. But I mean, I guess it just shows it's a good thing. So
Yeah, good things remain good by
oh
and
no, what's funny
large.
is I had Fed cuts on mine too. So you stole one of mine as well. I'm like looking at my list right now that
Well,
I
what
put
else? What
together.
else do you have on your list, Emmy? Anything else that you want to get to? I don't know if your list was more
No,
substantial than mine.
no, we've gotten through the list, at least the list that I like jotted down. As
Well,
far as more industry wide, yeah.
I'm sincerely hopeful that our listeners are thankful that we're not going to be super long-winded on this episode.
Yes.
Um, the last thing I had on my list that I want to say is I'm thankful that I get to do these podcasts occasionally with my good friend Emmy Hise, who's been I was trying to think of it before this when I wanted to say this, that how long have we known each other now? Because I remember when we first met was during Hotel Data Conference one year, when I talked Steph into going to get dinner at Duke's, which is the coolest bar in all of Nashville. And I remember the Colorado crew decided to tag along.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to think of what year that would have been.
I think that would have
Maybe
been
20, I
2017.
was going to say probably 2017. So
Yeah.
7 years ago, we got a sandwich at Duke's. Brian
Yeah.
Roten and I were drinking emergency drinking beer. Remember that? And I feel like we immediately bonded because we were both kind of new parents at that point. And I will say,
Mhm.
Emmy, you're my friend, and I am thankful for you.
Oh, I feel the same about you, Sean. I always have fun. I could talk to you all day, and I always have fun, whether it's on a podcast, conference, getting sandwiches, bonding over parenting things.
Mhm.
I'm
But
thankful
no,
for you too.
I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I am appreciative and thankful for everybody who listened today. Any final words of wisdom or thankfulness, Emmy?
Mhm. I hope everyone has a fabulous Thanksgiving. And I would say, whether you choose to overeat or listen to your belly, you're going to have a fabulous Thanksgiving. So,
I'm definitely in the former camp, but hopefully I make it through. All right. Thanks again.
thanks.
Hi, I'm Isaac Colazo, Vice President of Analytics at STR.
Hi, and I'm Jan Freitag, National Director for Hospitality Analytics for the CoStar Group. Tune in to our new show, Tell Me More, a hospitality data podcast.
It's a podcast on the global hotel industry, its current trends, what we're thinking about, and where the industry's going.
And we like to have fun with the data too. Find us on hotelnewsnow.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe today.
This episode of the Hotel News Now podcast was recorded on November 14th, 2024, and edited by me, Sean McCracken. Visit hotelnewsnow.com for the latest news every day.